Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. Today we're having a look at the Hasbro Jurassic World Stomp Strike Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now this is the big one. This is the one that many of us Jurassic World collectors have been waiting on, and it is finally here a little bit earlier than initially anticipated, as it was originally slated to come out in September, but here it is in July. And they're not too common quite yet. I picked mine up from Target. They're priced at $34.99, so the same price as the Bad Boy Indominus Rex, which we looked at in a previous review a couple months back. The packaging, as you can see here, shares the same aesthetic as pretty much all the other Jurassic World related merchandise. The back of the box says, "The earth shakes with a menacing rumble. Hold your breath, and whatever you do, don't move. The unstoppable Tyrannosaurus Rex is back." And we have an image there of the toy, which looks quite a bit different from the finalized product. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get our Stomp Strike T-Rex out of the box. When we come back, we will take a closer look and see exactly how awesome or how unawesome it is. All right, you guys, and here it is. The Stomp Strike T-Rex. Right off the bat, you guys, I kind of get the feeling that this is going to have some trouble standing down the line. Seems to be standing okay right now, but I'll show you a close-up of the feet in a little bit. It just seems like this has been a huge issue for the Jurassic World line with dinosaurs being able to stand properly. And I kind of feel like, down the line this might have some issues. So real quick, there's a little instruction manual that came in the box. The dinosaur itself looks pretty good. It's certainly not accurate by any means. The head is pretty disproportionate in relation to the body. The body is pretty scrawny looking, and then it has those ginormous feet, which give it a really silly look to it. I can't help but giggle. And then he does have a few rubber bits, just like the big Indominus did on him, including the neck piece as well as the tail. The dinosaur itself looks quite a bit like the chomping T-Rex that we also reviewed. It's clear that they are probably based off the same overall design and share a lot of the same aesthetics. Now, as you can see, the other side, the left side of the T-Rex, is littered with screw holes, and this has been a point that a lot of people have been upset about, not only with this figure, but with the Jurassic World line in general. I counted 16 screw holes on this figure. I think I got them all, but there's at least 16. And for a $35 figure that you're kind of, billing as your high-end T-Rex, it's a little ridiculous. It's pretty excessive. And if they absolutely had to do screw holes, did they have to do them on the face? And it's a shame, really, because the dinosaur doesn't look all that bad. She's certainly not perfect, but the screw holes definitely detract from what she has going for her. All right, you guys, and here's a close-up of the head. As you can see, once again, it looks a lot like the chomping T-Rex. The skeletal structure of the dinosaur looks okay. It's a bit inaccurate. The teeth, as you can see, and this was something that the chomping T-Rex had as well, is that the gums come pretty low down on the teeth. It just looks kind of wacky, and they're all kind of blunt looking. It's kind of hard to imagine how she can actually catch any prey with such rounded looking teeth. They're almost like hippopotamus teeth or something. Again, you do get a softer kind of rubber. This is hard plastic, and then this is soft, I suppose, so that the mechanism can work a little bit more easily. Inside of the mouth, there's a little bit of detail there in the roof of the mouth. Down here, you can see a little bit. There's her tongue. It's kind of painted like a mauve, purpley kind of color. There's the other side. Unfortunately, they gave it cat eyes, just like they did with the Bashers and Biters T-Rex, as well as the chomping T-Rex. Really wish they would have changed that. Now, the soft rubbery piece here is a little bit of a different color from the hard plastic, which is pretty unfortunate. The arms look pretty good. These do seem to be new. They're a little bit bigger than the chomping's arms. The rest of the body has some pretty decent detail in it. Get the Jurassic World branding there. Here are the big clown feet, and they're very, very weird looking. It's just like the toes, they're very narrow. This should certainly be pointed outward. At least these back two should be flared out. But, I don't know if they did that for stability reasons, or more likely it was probably to fit it in the box. But, you know, it definitely looks pretty wacky. There's the underside for you. Battery compartment right there, speaker holes right there. Once again, the tail is, it's two different pieces. You got this right here, the hard plastic, and the rubber piece. And it is kind of small. And the tail should certainly be beefier than this. I mean, it should be longer. And if you look at it from the top, it's just way too skinny. I mean, this should be like, it should be at least like that wide. Coloring overall is all right here. I'm pretty disappointed in it because if you looked at the artwork on the back of the box, it looked a little bit better, I think. What's unfortunate here is that the paint itself doesn't look too bad. It's got a pretty nice, deep, kind of orangey tan look to it, almost like an amber kind of thing going on. And it has some blending, so you can see a lighter color on the bottom. It's actually blended all right, but the problem is that with these darker markings here along the face, it just looks too dark, and it just looks really weird the way they applied it. Not to mention the fact that the striping on the figure only stops like halfway down the back. It's like, why? I don't know if that's laziness. I don't know why they chose to go that route. It just looks pretty ridiculous. I can't think of any logical reason for it to have done that. I mean, I really can't. It just seems pretty unusual. Alright, so there are two action features at play. You can place the T-Rex into two different positions, and let me show you how it works. Basically, you lift up the T-Rex's body to the upward position, and she lets out her very famous roar from the movie. That's one thing they got right with this toy, is the roar right there is accurate to the film, which is quite awesome. Sounds a lot like it did in Jurassic World. To move it into the secondary position, you push it downward. She lets out a growl, her mouth kind of closes, and now she's stuck in this really crouched over position. It's pretty strange, so you really can't have her standing horizontally. It's either going to be upright all the way, or it's going to be down like this. The sound effect for the bottom position is okay. It doesn't really like scream T-Rex to me. I mean, I guess it kind of sounds like the T-Rex from the film, but just not as cool as the roaring sound. The T-Rex also stomps when you move it up and down. And the way that is activated is that here with the left leg, when you bend the knee back, it makes that sound. I don't think there's nothing going on with the right, but with the left, it does that. And it doesn't really sound like a stomping sound. It sounds more like a gunshot. Give you a comparison here of the Stomp Strike Rex along with the Chomping T-Rex and the Bashers and Biters T-Rex there at the very bottom. As you can see, they all share very similar elements with each other. The eyes, the shape of the head, overall design seems to be quite similar between the three of them. And of course, the Stomp and Strike is a good bit bigger than the Chomping T-Rex. Here's the comparison between the Stomp and Strike T-Rex along with the 1993 Jurassic Park Red Rex. And hard to believe that these are supposed to be the same exact dinosaur character. They're both Rexy, but you know, they're worlds apart. They scale up together pretty well, I would say. They seem to be more or less about the same size. I guess the Red Rex is perhaps a little bit bigger and a lot more accurate and way better looking. So yeah, they're definitely worlds apart. It's a shame that we don't have the Kenner level of quality with the new Jurassic World toy line. And then, of course, there's a Stomp and Strike T-Rex with the Bad Boy Indominus Rex. Really, it should be Bad Girl. And, yeah, they're all females, Hasbro, come on. But these scale up together pretty well. They seem to be in scale with pretty much the way they looked in the film. I think the Indominus is a better toy overall. It just seems to be a little bit more movie accurate, varies so slightly. And just a better all-over toy, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a minute. These are the two big dinosaur toys from the Hasbro Jurassic World main toy line. It's also notable that the Indominus Rex only has 6 screw holes, while the Stomp and Strike has at least 16 of them. And there's also none at the head, which is a huge plus. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Hasbro Jurassic World Stomp Strike Tyrannosaurus Rex. Overall, I am a little bit disappointed with this toy, simply because the potential was there to have done something really great. Aesthetically speaking, it looks okay. It is quite inaccurate in some areas like the head and the big feet and the tail. But all in all, it looks pretty good, which is important. Paint on it is pretty nicely done, except for the fact that the stripes don't run all the way down the back and the tail. The action features are pretty cool. It's neat that you can put it into two different positions to get two different sounds. The stomping sounds are very nice. Love the roaring sound. And the lower position growling sound is pretty good as well. I do feel that this dinosaur seems to be very toy-like. I think the clicks when you change position, the ratcheted clicks are very loud. And I don't know that that's not going to give us problems down the line with these guys breaking at some point. If you don't know whether to get the Stomp Strike T-Rex or the bad boy Indominus Rex, I certainly feel that the Indominus is the way to go. I think it's a better toy. I think it's all in all more solid. It doesn't have the clickety sounds with the ratcheting, and I mean, it doesn't stand very well either, but it just feels like a more solid product. I think it looks a little bit better, and of course the light up feature on it is pretty nice. Stomp Strike, on the other hand, while an okay toy, simply doesn't live up to the bad boy Indominus Rex, so therefore, if you're going to get one of the two, again, get the Indominus Rex. If you absolutely need to have a T-Rex from the Jurassic World lineup, get this one. Even with all the flaws, it's still a better toy than the Chomping T-Rex or the Bashers and Biters T-Rex. It's simply a shame that Hasbro could have done a lot more, and unfortunately this particular release fell quite a bit short from the mark that myself and I'm sure quite a lot of collectors would have wished that Hasbro would have hit with this particular release. Alright, my friends, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. As always, I want to thank you for watching Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.